Whilst we're standing outside a pharmacy, I'm just going to quickly run through that list before I say anything, because I've done quite a lot of research on a lot of these vaccines. So the hepatitis B vaccine, obviously, affects your liver. According to research, the hepatitis B vaccine affects your liver negatively when you have it as a vaccine. The HPV vaccine, the human papillomavirus, is a vaccine given to teenage girls to prevent cervical cancer, which historically doesn't happen until you're an older woman. But they've started giving it to boys as well. The HPV vaccine causes cervical cancer and also causes paralysis. And this is notably researched in India, where Bill Gates and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation often use subjects for experimental vaccines. Thousands of girls were vaccinated with the HPV vaccine, and a number of thousands of girls became paralysed. Some died very quickly from cervical cancer. Young girls. And if you don't believe that, you can go and look it up for yourself. Meningococcal, I haven't done quite a lot of research on that, but I would be being very wary of what's in a meningococcal vaccine, because most of these vaccines have a base of aluminium, formaldehyde, I could go into a huge list, but various toxic substances that should never be put into the body. Never, and particularly into babies and young children. Aluminium, thimerosal, which is a form of mercury. And if anybody knows what mercury does, it can kill you with this much. And the amount that they put into the childhood vaccines accumulates over time. And that usually, the aluminium and the mercury crosses the blood-brain barrier, causes autism and other neurodegenerative diseases. Measles, mumps, rubella, well, that's very contentious and has been for many decades, and many specialists, doctors and researchers have had their careers destroyed by telling the truth. Measles, mumps and rubella is an absolute cause of autism and other neurodegenerative diseases, and is highly documented. When they tell you that anecdotal evidence isn't enough for them to make a finding, you have to understand what anecdotal evidence is. Anecdotal evidence are the people who have been injured, the children who have been injured. Chickenpox. There is no form of chickenpox these days that is actually real, that is actually a real virus. It is all synthetic, and around the world when there are outbreaks of chickenpox, which they so love to go, oh my God, all these children are getting chickenpox, we must vaccinate them. It is all synthetic. Nothing comes from a real so-called virus. And chickenpox is not going to kill you. In fact, when we were young, we all used to get our kids together and we'd have chickenpox parties. So all the kids would get chickenpox, they'd be immune for the rest of their lives. Shingles. Now, you've probably noticed in the last few years since the COVID vaccine, shingles has become a big ad on television that you should go and get yourself vaccinated against shingles, because shingles, a very unpleasant, not disease, a very unpleasant rash, skin eruption, is one of the side effects of the COVID vaccine. So, of course, they had to start advertising it, how terribly important it was that you went and got a shingles vaccine, which will give you shingles. If you get a shingles vaccine, almost guaranteed to get shingles from it. And then you'll repeatedly get it because, again, it is a synthetic thing. Whooping cough, one of the childhood vaccines, also the vaccine does not work against whooping cough. A friend of mine whose young baby had whooping cough spent 10 days in ICU, almost died directly from the whooping cough vaccine. The flu vaccine, full of mercury, full of thimerosal, aluminium and other toxic things. Don't get a flu shot. And of course, COVID-19, definitely don't get a COVID-19 shot. We are in single digits of people now in Australia going to get boosters for COVID. Single digits, it's something like 6 or 8%. And I can tell you right now, of data out of the US, that 9 out of 10 health professionals, doctors included in this, nurses, specialists, across the board, 9 out of 10 health professionals in the US are refusing to get any vaccine. No vaccines at all. Now we know here in Australia, and definitely here in WA, because we have people who are involved in our group who used to be nurses and used to be doctors, used to be mental health professionals. In order to get a job back in the industry that they used to work in, they have to have up to 5 shots. A lot of the medical healthcare workers who work in the industry still are also refusing to get the shots. And the government, the local government, the state government, the federal government, they all know and did know what the side effects of the COVID vaccines were going to be. So I hope you all think about that when you think about having any vaccine at all. You must trust your own immune system. Get healthy, eat good food, get some exercise, get some love in your life, and enjoy yourself. And don't think that the government is going to save you from anything, because it's not. Thank you.